Hey, well you're in luck, you know, because I think Marie's into that kind of thing.
Sarah, I don't know how many more times I can say it.
We like to get the gossip, don't we?
Alright, look, I'll put my hands up.
See the photos on Facebook. Did you like him?
The way in which we work using theatre, using scenes, using actors, sort of engages an emotional intelligence in the training, which is fantastic. So it's almost like the learning sort of happens on two tiers, on two levels. So, you know, you might be having a very clear conversation about particular behaviours, expectations, but what's going on underneath that is a sort of an emotional intelligence in that, you know, your delegates, the people there who are learning, are seeing either themselves on stage or they're seeing their managers on stage, and they're processing things, you know, in terms of what this means to them. And it's almost conversations you don't need to have, but you know that learning is going on at the same time.
I think this style of training is very good, it's very beneficial. I think it's much harder to physically describe a situation at work than it is to actually act that out. It's much easier to digest and appreciate the situation you'd be in having seen it there in front of you. So I like this style of training, absolutely. The quality of the acting was good, and the guys had done the research clearly on Lush, so to tailor it around our environment. Yes, it's just much easier when it's there in front of you to digest a real situation than it would be to read it on the book or have someone describe that for you. Interactive. Challenging in terms of some of the conversations we had to have, the difficult conversations. Interactive, challenging, and probably fun. I'm an accountant, so I like anything matrix or model. So there's a direction and support kind of matrix or graph, which I find really useful in terms of prior to going into a conversation or a meeting or feedback or whatever, having a look and where does someone sit in that, and really getting my mind clear about how I'm going to deal or approach the conversation. So little tools like that. So yeah, I always love them, and this was good.
My expectation was a lot more sort of theatrical and having to be a lot more role playing, but actually it just felt really involved, but felt really natural and not forced at all. It was lovely.
Yeah, for me it's great not to have a classroom style, you know, here's some theory, here's some 20 pages of what you should do. It's great to see it live, it's great to see it in action.
And using real life scenarios or real company scenarios that you can actually interact as a team and share ideas and come to a conclusion together. It was really lovely.
Yeah, I got quite into it. I thought the actors were you can actually relate to the actors, so it didn't feel like someone you didn't really know about. Or I thought, I got quite involved really, and it made me want to get up there and help them. So,
and it provoked a lot of emotions, I think, in all of us, and we felt on our seats and sometimes felt a bit angry or cross, and yeah, it was good to get involved in it, and just a unique scenario.
Yeah, the situational leadership model quite helpful, just knowing what style to sort of go in to use, and knowing that I can actually change my approach halfway through if I feel it's necessary.
I think I'll find the most helpful part learning to reflect and take time out to plan before I go into those difficult conversations. So thinking of words that I do want to use and I don't want to use, yeah, really helpful.
I find it very inspirational. I also find it very comforting because you don't have to do role play where you pretend to be someone. I think the actors are brilliant in staying in character. I think they're fantastic. So it's kind of like real life situation, but slightly easier. Because you can stop them and start them whenever you want. But yeah, it's brilliant. Hands-on, inspirational, confidence boosting. I know that's more than 3 minutes.
I think it's very inclusive. I think people can engage with it on their own level. So yeah, it's very practical. You know, we put World up in front of people and they get their hands on it, they get to mould it, you know, shape it, challenge it, and that's fantastic. But you know, you also can learn by just sitting back and watching. You can also sit and just listen to your colleagues as well. You know, in terms of what we do, there's just as much learning coming from, you know, your colleagues, those other people sat in the group in the workshop, as there is ever coming from the stage. And it's fantastic when you see those light bulbs go on, and it's normally because someone's colleague has come at it from a very different angle, and someone's gone, oh, you know, yeah, there's another way of looking at this. That is a benefit of our approach. You know, the approach just allows that to happen. You know, it doesn't pressurise people to learning in a particular way. I think that's really good.
Just thank you, because it was brilliant.